If there's graffiti on top of that roof, I know they got up there somehow. So if you don't go up, you're never going to get rid of graffiti. They will not scale from the front, they'll scale from the back where they're inconspicuous. So what they'll do is if there's no building that I'm aware of that you can't get up somehow on the back if there's graffiti. The way I would go up is the most secure. So what you have is you have this big wooden pole anchored in with this pipe. So the easiest way, in my opinion, is just to go up this pole. And I could show you right now. I mean, it would take like 2 seconds. You just plant your foot here, up, and then you're up. And you can come back down any number of ways. Go off these pipes, off that garbage can, or just go back the way you came.
All right, well, come on down.
Okay. The only way you're going to paint these guys out with paint, because it covers up all their work, is climb the roof first, figure out how much rope you need, tie it to the bucket, climb the roof, then pull the bucket up back behind you, and then there you go. So here's how it's done. Then once you're up, you just pull the bucket up behind you. So now I told you we would find some graffiti up here, and now after we got up, what you'll find is you've got this group. These are taggers. LSD, what that stands for is love, sex, and drugs. And this guy that put this message up is the guy that's writing in red, Biser, B-I-S-E-R. So then as an abbreviation, he just goes to a BR. But what he did was he did one extra thing. After he put his bubble up letters, that big BR is what they call bubble up letters, he put his signature, which is B-I-S-E-R, LSD, which is love, sex, and drugs, which is their tag crew. Now he's leaving a message for another guy in their tag crew called PS. He leaves an exclamation mark. So what you find is after he threw these red letters up, he then comes over, and what do you see immediately? You see PS, and all the way down the front of this facade here, PS has responded on this side of the wall and that side of the wall and dated it, 1994. So this has already been up anywhere between 3 months to 12 months. And now, if this stuff stays there long enough, this rooftop will be filled with graffiti. It takes a lot of paint, and since you have to pay for your own paint or you have a limited amount of paint, you don't paint all a cinder block. You try to match the color, and you're just going to paint outline where it is. And otherwise, it eats up too much paint. The most important thing about graffiti removal, and you really can't say it enough times, is getting rid of it immediately. If it's not removed, more graffiti will follow. It'll spread like a cancer throughout the area, and it'll invite other criminal activities. Crime goes where graffiti is, and crime identifies with graffiti. That's why graffiti has got to be removed immediately. Latino taggers and gang members use dots a lot. There's rarely more than 3. What happens normally on their wrists, generally on the left wrist in here or somewhere in their hand area, there'll be a triangular shape of 3 dots. In Spanish, that means mi vida loca. They made a movie about that recently. It just means wild and crazy life. It's like a period ending a sentence. Like over there, you saw an exclamation mark, which really means nothing other than he wants a quick response. Here's the guy's response. Here's black, so you really got to put the paint on so it doesn't show up. On the red, I didn't care, but you want to make sure that you cover these vandals.
Joe has been married to Jerry Pupos for 11 years, and they have 2 children, Jessica and Adam. For over a decade, he was a very successful merchant of Oriental rugs. However, 2 years ago, because of the decay in his neighborhood, Joe started taking an active role in combating graffiti. Eventually, it became a full-time commitment.
No one asked me to get involved. It's just something I felt compelled to do. I'm kind of an obsessive type personality, and I knew I could be successful at it because a lot of people had succeeded because they didn't know you have to be a really different blend of a million different things to get this done.
It didn't happen overnight that Joe decided to leave the carpet business. He'd been talking about it for a long time. He was looking, because he was spending so much time with graffiti and talking about what he was planning on doing, that it wasn't a sudden end to carpet business. But a lot of things were supposed to happen that didn't happen. He was promised a lot of things when he was going to leave the carpet business that didn't occur. So it's been a struggle, but I've always trusted him to keep us going and to do the right thing and to get us to not have us suffer too much. So you know, it was very scary at first, but I knew that things would work out for him.
In order to support his family, Joe created a pamphlet dealing with graffiti abatement, which he publishes and sells personally throughout the Fairfax area. He uses a combination of flyers and direct contact with merchants in the neighborhood to generate enough sales to meet his needs.
These are the benefits of the program, and it's a little biography on what we've done. Here's where the money that you invest goes through the nonprofit corporation.
How the sign came about was I was on the freeway painting for about a year using my own materials, and then Caltrans came along and invited me to come into their Adopt a Highway program. So I said, sure. What that happened then when I joined their program was they gave me all of their own paint, which helped me match what they were doing. So we joined forces, and we now are up to about 20 square miles. And to commemorate my energy in a coordinated effort with them, we put up this sign, which is the only one like it in the state of California, and I'm very proud of that. What you have here is, this is pretty indicative of a black gang graffiti, which comes with a lot of C's, G's, and P's or B's, which means Crips, Bloods, gangsters. And what they do with this more stylized square graffiti is they claim their little stake in the neighborhood. For example, here's a gang that's been here for a long time, the CAH gang. They put their graffiti up in black. This stands for Catching All Hoes Gang. They've been in this area for years. What happened was this graffiti didn't get painted out, so another rival black gang came in, BYSH, which is Be Yourself Hustlers, and even though they don't belong in this area, they've put a different color of spray paint up, challenging this gang, and to totally finalize their statement, challenging this other gang, they've put up the California State Penal Code for murder, 187. So they're violently telling these people they're going to start shooting them up and taking over their area. The thing you'll find is the Latino tagging is more stylized tagging than, say, more squared, rectangular, or square tagging from black graffiti taggers or gang members.
Not only do they have the stylized type of graffiti, but they occasionally use what Latino gang members refer to as Old English style.
I used to be worried. I was worried when he first would go out and paint graffiti, and it would be at various times of the day, and he wouldn't wear a pager, so I wouldn't know where he would be. But as the time's gone by, it's not as frightening as it used to be. He would offer his rendition of what happened when he'd go out, and it would sound awful. And then I actually heard him talking to people, and he would be very pleasant. And I heard from other people that he was pleasant talking to them and not confronting them at all. So my fears were allayed because he wasn't antagonizing people, and he wasn't being, he wasn't afraid. You know?
2 years ago, we decided to take charge of our neighborhood, so we put a sign up. So while taggers and people that put graffiti up in the neighborhood, which was everywhere, we wanted to get into their mindset to let them know that we were serious about what we were going to do in this neighborhood. So what we did was, I got up on this ledge and I put up a sign. It would be a little bit funny, but also serious enough that it would show them that we were going to take this area back.